Everyone's cool with that? All right,
Yep.
so I just started recording this session. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to jump straight into just a bit of the slide pack. I'm not sure if you've had time to have a quick look at this, but this is what we're basically going to be running through tonight. And along the way, it's obviously your session, your time. So quite keen for you to jump in with questions and try and help get the most out of this session for yourself. Somebody's still got their microphone on so we can hear you shuffling around. So if everyone can just make sure their mic's off, then that just make it a better experience for everyone.
Look, it might be me.
Yeah, I
Give
think it's you,
me
Aidan.
30 seconds.
Yep, no worries.
Is it me or not?
Yeah, it's you.
Right. You keep talking, I'll keep quiet, and I'm going to do a search online to work out how to turn it off because it's not immediately obvious.
Okay, no worries. So we're just going to jump in and have a quick look at what the agenda is tonight. So we've got the overview of the products, and have a quick look through the family and the athlete area, which is obviously the main benefit for everyone is what do kids get out of it? What do they see? How do they get to interact with it all? And then just some of the preparation for the season start or the season rollover and users and some of the basics, and then some of the advanced features at the end. So I'm just going to jump straight in. So the main focus of what we're looking at that has been offered by your state bodies is these three middle products here. We've got ResultsHQ in the middle, and then we've got the timing software, RaceHQ, and the CompetitionHQ, which is our track and field results entry. So this one up here, ResultsHQ, that is web-based. So just like NetBank or Facebook or anything where you have to go online to view it, that's what ResultsHQ is. So if you've got a smartphone or a tablet or a laptop or a PC, then basically you can look at ResultsHQ. It doesn't matter if it's Android, Windows, Apple, BlackBerry, whatever. As long as it's got a browser and you've got some internet, then you can get to ResultsHQ. So the benefit of that is you can have multiple people in there at the same time, and as long as they've got the appropriate user level, then they can jump in and do what they have to do while other people are in there. So you don't have to hand over a computer to somebody else to make it happen. You just got to jump in using some internet and a browser and off you go. So that the normal kind of path of information starts with your registrations in IMG. When people register in there, you want to get them across to ResultsHQ. So that's a nice simple process. You just click one button in ResultsHQ and that will bring across any new or returning members and create a family for them or update their profile. So that's basically how that process is, from one web area to another web area just by clicking on a button, providing that they're active and financial. So I think most of you already got registrations happening at the moment or about to start regos, in which case you'll start to be able to press a button in ResultsHQ to allow that to happen. So I'll just give you a little quick example of where that is in case you haven't seen it before. So I'll just jump into the web area itself. So just going to go to one of the local centres here. In here, we go up to members, IMG import. All I need to do, here's some mapping fields, but they're all by default to the right area for you. All I need to do is just put in my email address and press the start import, and that's all I need to do. It will then go through in the background, import all my members, and when it's finished, it'll send me an email telling me what's happened. So it's pretty straightforward, that process. I think someone else is trying to join. There we go.
No, it's me again. I'll come back.
Okay. So that's how we go about getting members into your system from IMG. So up to members, hit IMG import, come in here, put our email in and press start process, and then it will shoot us an email when it's done. So that's that first part of the puzzle. Pretty straightforward. So IMG across to ResultsHQ, we just stepped through that. Now because we're in Australia, we don't all have awesome internet, but we do want to be productive, then that's where these two little applications come into it. So RaceHQ is timing software that works with the ATP or the Tassie gates, if you've heard of those, or maybe you've got some at your centre. It also works with our own gates, of course. Works with some other things like finish links and Swiss Amiga, as in photo finish timing equipment, as well as some manual buttons. So that replaces your Seiko multi-timer, as well as hooks into other timing apparatuses if you have them at your center. I'll go through that one shortly, as well as CompetitionHQ. That's basically a little brother of this web platform. So if you don't have internet, that's where these two applications that are also part of the package really help out, because it means that's cool, don't need internet, go down, record what you need to do. Maybe you've saved 100 races from the night or the morning in the timing software, from manually timing it, no fancy timing gates anywhere in sight, just you and a keyboard. I'll run through that. Meanwhile, you've had all your paper trail go out through the field. People have been handwriting on all your recording sheets and it's been coming back in. You could have one or multiple laptops set up with CompetitionHQ, and they are just tapping away, getting all this paper data back into CompetitionHQ, again, without any internet available, just running offline on those local laptops. And then when you get home from your 3 laptops or 10 laptops, depending on how you're operating, you can go and upload all that data. And the moment... Sorry, say that again? Sounds like someone's got a speakerphone on and ordering some pizza or something at the moment. You want to turn your background noise off, whoever that is, sorry? So the moment the results have gone up into ResultsHQ, the cool part is the families. I'll just see who this is. Whoever that is, can you turn your microphone off, please? I think it's Chris. Chris, can you turn your mic off? Thank you. All right, that's better. So the cool part is the moment you upload anything into ResultsHQ, it's automatically available to the families. So if you've had 100 races on here and you've had 100 field events in here and you upload, straight away, all that data is available over in the family area where they've got tickets and they've got graphs, they've got all that sort of cool stuff. So the best part is if you can get it up into the system as soon as you can, then the families get it straight away. Does that make sense to most people? Is that pretty clear? Seeing out if there's any questions.
All good. One question.
Yep.
Who am I talking to?
This is Nick Fredrickson.
G'day, Nick. Sorry, mate.
No worries, Aiden. How you doing?
I came in a bit late. Look, just one question on, and I think I raised this with you before. When we import things out of the registration database, effectively, from Lead Athletics database, at a club like ours, we run trialists. First question is, how would we enter those? And the second question is, if I then do a subsequent synchronization with that Little Athletics database, I'm assuming I don't overwrite anything that I've created that way.
So to create a trialist, the only way you're going to get members from IMG, so from your online registration platform, across to ResultsHQ if they're active and if they're financial. So normally a trialist wouldn't fit that criteria because they haven't paid, is the normal kind of trialist that I'm familiar with. So if you did want to create trialists, you'd need to create them directly into ResultsHQ.
And we can do that, yeah?
Yeah, you can do that. And then later on, let's say Johnny trialist becomes Johnny Jackson, a 9 male that's paid up and is now in IMG and has come across. You can get Johnny trialist results and give that over to Johnny Jackson, the new paid up registered member. So now Johnny Jackson continues on with all the history of Johnny trialist up to that point in time.
Brilliant, brilliant. Okay, that's great.
The,
Thanks, thank you.
the only thing we normally
Yep.
recommend in that scenario, just because of the extra admin required and people keeping track of that, is that it acts as a really good carrot to get trialists off the trialist bandwagon and into the real world, is by not setting up a trialist profile, so that A,
Yep.
it's not extra admin for you, and B, they're missing out on all the cool results stuff because they haven't paid their money yet, so they don't get the benefit. Just some ideas
Yep.
there. Obviously, everyone's got their own
Yeah. No.
agenda.
No. No. Good.
Yep.
Good point.
Yep.
Yep.
So and the other part to add is that it's Chris here. The other part to add is that you have to be careful that you don't get charged for them if you start adding them to the ResultsHQ database.
Ah, of course. Yeah. Yeah.
Any more questions there? All good then. I'll move along. So if we're clear on ResultsHQ is web-based, it can be in any internet-enabled device, laptop, tablet, phone, PC, and so on. We do recommend that you use Chrome as your browser. There's obviously Internet Explorer is default with a lot of computers, so if you can get Chrome on there, it's just a better user experience. Firefox and other ones like that are also good, but we generally recommend Chrome. For RaceHQ and CompetitionHQ, however, they are majoritarily Windows-based. I can run you through those two applications right now. We'll have a quick look at RaceHQ, the timing software. So this here is RaceHQ. I'll just bring it in the middle. I'm on a Windows laptop, so I'm just going to start up the timing software. So as mentioned, this is built to try and save time for processing your track events, whether they're sprint or whether they're distance races. You don't have to have timing gates or electronic start devices or anything like that. Just think of this in its simplest form as a Seiko multi-timer. You can go and add on electronic start devices and e-guns and gates and so on. They are not included in the package, but I'm just going to run you through the basic software right now. So I'm just going to hit the Go Race button. Now I've got my timing screen. So there's some hotkeys here. If I want to start a race, I could click on the start button up the top. But to keep it simple, I'm just going to hit the control key on my keyboard. That way I can look wherever the smoke is without worrying about my mouse moving off the start button as I'm looking around for the start gun, wherever it is. So I'm just going to press the control key. My clock's now going. We've noticed I haven't even chosen an event or anything at this point in time. I just started the race. I'm now hitting the shift key to create times on my screen. I could hit the trigger button up here as well, and that will give me times, but the shift is much more responsive. And now I could go and select an event if I like, so I'll just put in 800s. We're still running the race, clock's still going. I haven't actually recorded anybody as yet. Meanwhile, the race is still running, so the first kid over the line has finally done a U-turn and come back towards me, so I can start to key in the athlete's number. So I'm just going to be lazy. I know I've got number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The sixth person that's turned up in front of me didn't actually have their number on them tonight. They didn't have their outfit, their uniform, but they do know their name luckily. So I'm just going to start typing in Timmy. See if we've got a Timmy. There we go, Timothy Gardner. So I don't have to know their number to get them in the system. Now it's told me that's number 548 and it's an 11 male. So first for the age gender category, but 6th outright at this point in time. Everyone so far has a PB. Meanwhile, some more finishers come in and we keep processing the rest of this race. So I'm just going to be lazy and use my single digits. And now the final athlete comes in and I key them in. Again, they don't have their number, or it's a visitor. So I can just write in visitor Jack, and that's a placeholder for any time I need to go back and sort out visitor Jack. So then I can press stop. Yes, I want to stop the race. Right now, if I wanted to, I could go and, if I had the connection turned on with my internet, and these were the same age gender events up in ResultsHQ. As I press save, we could be uploading all these events direct to ResultsHQ. If I don't have internet turned on, they've done what they always do. They just save locally, and then later on, when I get home or somebody turns up with a hotspot, as in internet connection, I could go into my saved events up here. There's my visitor jack that I'd put in. Go to my race. Here's all my information. Edit things if I need to, and then re-upload if I hadn't uploaded already for the night. Or maybe I had uploaded, but then I fixed somebody up. They had the wrong number on. Come and change them here to 22. Now I could go and re-upload this person or this whole event. To do it, to save you going race by race, we just go to missing entries, and there's an upload all button here. So this would actually upload all 100 races if I had 100 events on for the night. Any questions around RaceHQ? No? Okay. I'll move on then to CompetitionHQ. So I'll just close out of here. So that's the timing software. So in theory, that would replace your Seiko multi-timer. Common question around that one is, what happens if it's a sprint race? My normal response is, well, what happens if it's a normal sprint race at your center? Some centers have one Seiko multi-timer that records the whole of the 70s and the 100 meters, one person and their thumbs tapping away, keeping up with the finish. Then it's the same with this scenario now, where instead of hitting the red button on your Seiko, you're just hitting the shift key as quick as you need to. Okay, so CompetitionHQ. So just to recap, so we just looked at RaceHQ, the timing software, and we're just going to have a look at CompetitionHQ. So again, if I don't have internet, but I want to record data, and we're using stopwatches at the finish line, or we're not, but we want to use something to record all the paper trail that's coming in, then this is the application that will allow you to do that. It lets you dial up your age, gender, event, key in the data, whether it's 1 of 3 attempts or 3 of 3 attempts, and then once it's up and running. So the first thing it asked me to do is make sure I've selected the correct date. I'm cool with where I'm up to right now, so I'm just going to choose 8 male long jump, and here's all my 8 males. I've got result 1, result 2, result 3, and it chooses the best automatically. So again, no internet required for this. I'm just running offline, so I can put in 111 for first event, or first result, 222, 333. So you can see straight away it's giving me my best and a place so far. I could come down here and I could key in 222, and we got first and second. I could come into their third attempt, because maybe this was a no throw. So I just hit the N key, or no jump, and they've got a no jump, but then the next one was a cracker. They did a 465, they're now first place, and there's a potential record here. So again, we can go through. Once we've started keying in data, it's going to save me having to scroll up and down the screen. So I can come over here and I can click on the place column and regroup everyone. So if I do my first round of events and everyone's scattered, I can replace them, as in sort them by place. Everyone's up together and work through it this way. Field events, normally you've got your three attempts, it chooses the best. That's the same for all of these. If you are keying in track events, because you're not using the timing software, you've got your paper trail from your Seiko multi-timers or stopwatches, then in here all you need to do is just key the single value, being the time, and it will start doing your place and PBs and so on. I'm just going to turn on one of my favorite ones, being high jump. Have a quick look at that. Everyone's been very quiet, assuming that means you're all quite comfortable and absorbing what I'm saying here. Is that?
I've been waiting for the high jump, mate.
All right, okay. Well, here we go. So we're going to jump into high jump. So with high jump, the classic with high jump is that count back can be a bit confusing, especially if you're a new volunteer. You're not actually sure what even count back means. It kind of makes sense, but you're not really sure on the logic behind it. What I've done now, I've just set up first height of 1, another one of 110, then 120. If Jasper is my first athlete to jump and Jasper clears, I click once. Gets his green circle, best height in first place so far because no one else has jumped. If Jake is next up, doesn't clear first time, I can click twice. Does clear the second time. We've now got both on 1 meter, but a count back, Jake is second. Next athlete up, doesn't clear this height, that attempt. Next attempt doesn't either, but finally does on the third attempt. So we've now got first, second, third. If they're a hot shot and they just want to sit out because this height is literally below them, they don't want to have a crack at this one, then they can sit out and they're going to wait until the next height when everyone's up and when everyone's passed through. So again, once we've started sorting out who's actually there today, we can start to then resort the place column here, bring everyone together so I don't have to keep scrolling up and down the screen. They're all grouped together. So all you need to do is just tick, cross or dash, and as you do so, it's going to work out the places for you, tell you if there's a PB and if it's uploaded or not at this point in time. If you happen to, so this screen is built for obviously being ideally next to the high jump mat where you're processing it live without needing paper. So this screen can be a bit of a pain if you're bringing paper trail back and you need to key it in. If you don't want to have to go and do all the ticks and crosses, which some people find handy to just validate what the individual is that's filled out the paperwork to make sure that it is correct, then they like using this screen. But let's say we want to do a high jump, but we don't want to use this fancy version. I'm just going to go and turn off the fancy high jump, and we're just going to use simple high jump. So we'll choose 10 high jump. Now it just gives me this one column. So my paper trails come back. Everyone's sorted out the ticks and crosses and dashes. Now I've got a column that just tells me the final result and the final place. So I've got somebody that's done a 110, someone else that's done a 110, 120, 125, and they were the athletes for the night. These two here, based on count back, should actually be, this one should be fourth. And now we've figured out who's the real order. I can see the one that I've manually adjusted, and then again I can go and upload this data when I do have internet later on. Any questions around what we've been looking at so far?
The only question I'd have, Nick, is I'm not sure when it happened, but I know there was a change in the countback rules. You'd be applying the current countback rules. And actually, it's not a question I've ever asked. Are the current Little Athletics New South Wales countback rules the same as the IAAF rules that way?
Very good question. Well, if there's been some changes, I haven't been made aware since we put all that logic in a year or so ago.
Well, just for information, we found this when the Trans-Tasman team went across to New Zealand this year.
Yep.
There was a situation, I think in years gone by, the countback went over multiple rounds backwards. Mm-hmm. And I think the rule now is it goes back, there's some rule about it goes back one round. Okay, well, we can have a look at that offline. The previous round takes priority, yeah. Yep. We need to have this conversation, but there was something unexpected happened in New Zealand. Now, whether that's a New Zealand rule or an IAAF rule or a Little Athletics New South Wales rule, I'm not sure, but it'd be nice for us to kind of know what that rule is, if that makes sense.
Yeah, cool. I'll have a chat with the state bodies and get their latest rules and check it off with what our logic is built in there. Thanks for that.
Great, thanks. Yeah.
Okay, so we've just had a look at the two applications, RaceHQ for timing, CompetitionHQ for recording data. Neither of those needed internet, but the moment we do have internet, I can be doing live uploads once I've finished keying things in, or I do a batch upload when I get home and I've got a whole bunch of data sitting there to go up. Once it does go up, straight away, families are available to view that. There is some other rules if you wanted to not make it straight away if it's a big event, but they're more the advanced features. The default is it goes up to ResultsHQ and kids get to see their ticket straight away. So that's the high-level concept. How does that sit with everybody? Is there any question marks or grey areas still? Is that pretty straightforward and easy to understand?
Only question, Nick, would be, I vaguely remember on your website that some of your products work for Macs or iOS as well as Windows, and some don't.
Yeah.
Can you just clarify which do and which don't?
Good question. So ResultsHQ, that's a web platform, so they'll work on anything with a browser. Doesn't care if it's iOS, Android, so on. RaceHQ is Windows only at this point in time, so it must be a Windows laptop. CompetitionHQ has two forms. One is Windows and the other is Android. So it looks a bit different to what we just played with just now in CompetitionHQ because it's stripped back to be on a phone or a tablet. But that is Android or Windows for CompetitionHQ. We're working on iOS, but for now, Windows is your default for both. CompetitionHQ has the extra option for Android.
Yep.
Any other questions? Okay. So we've just been having a talk now about how to get the data in there. So to recap, the timing software pushes in. Otherwise, you can key direct from your paper trail either into CompetitionHQ or direct into ResultsHQ itself. Or there's one up the top here as well. So that's CompetitionHQ as we've just gone through. So either of these three mechanisms are good ways to get data in. And the moment you do, the families get to see the live results. So we just have a quick look now. What is the main benefit of all this? Obviously, it hopefully will help the committee save time and be a bit more efficient. But the other main benefit is obviously the kids. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. So here's just some different screens of what you see and what's available to you and the kids, the families, and so on. So if you're on a desktop or a tablet, this is the sort of screen you have available. If you're on a smartphone, it gets squashed and changed around its format to look a bit more like an app with your navigation along the bottom. If you run a cool event, maybe you have a multi-day or a PB carnival or something special, then there's the opportunity to publish live certificates out to the families or print them off. So when I say publish them to the family, that creates a certificate that looks like this, and it appears in their family area. So you don't physically have to print and hand over a certificate. They'll have a notification in their family area that lets them see that they've been given a certificate, and they can look at it and then print if they like. We'll just keep it in soft copy. And then the last part, one of the main things that has been around forever with Little A's is the tickets. If you're still handwriting tickets and you love it, well then keep doing that if you like. But if you're over having to write out tickets, then hopefully this will be a great feature for you. So we've got the tickets built in to the system. So the moment you've keyed in some results, they're able to then view those tickets in their portal, and if they'd like, they can also print those off. So we'll just jump straight in now and just have a quick look at the what that actually looks like in the family area. So this is where they log in. I'm just going to go in under our demo family. So the kids can put their own avatar or profile picture up. So here's this family here. If I wanted to have a look at what Robert's history was for his 800 meters, I can click on this. Now I can see all the 800s that Robert has done. So here's the dates, his events, the results, the position he came, if he made a PB or not. So that's the stars and where this occurred. So Robert's a part of Matt's center is what this is telling me. If there are other names in here like region or zone or state or intercenter, special carnival, whatever it is that Robert did an 800 meter at outside of just his own local center, that would also be available in this view, in this graph, and it would state where it was from. So Robert would actually have the full history of all his 800s for the whole season from everywhere that he's been, as long as they've used ResultsHQ to record the data in, would all come back to his one profile, even though it's held or generated in maybe 5 other profiles. And if we wanted to look at the tickets for Robert for his 800 meters for this season, I just click on the little trophy. And here's all his 800 meter events that he's done. So you go and print those if you like. Otherwise, I can go and print a little report. Pretty basic, just got some stats there that he can put on the fridge or do something with. If I wanted to look at his 70s, which he got 2 PBs so far for the season, and his best is 13:51, I go have a look at his 70s. Now I reload the graph. I can see what he did at those different dates. And that goes for any of the other events that's on this screen here. Cool part is if I don't want to look at Robert by event, I want to look at him by date, then I just click on the date. That brings up what he's done, where he's achieved his PBs. And again, I can print off tickets by date. So we've got some turbo javelin, 70 meters, 100 meters, 400 and long jump. The H just means heats. Otherwise, I could do a report for Robert that way as well. If your center has the option turned on to show all results, so some centers are a bit sensitive about being able to view other kids' results. You can't see any personal information, but you can see their results. Then basically you could come in here and select date and choose some age and some genders and see what's in there. So there was a 1K cross country by the looks of it. Then this would let me see what everyone's done on that particular date. Not just my kids, it would be whoever fitted that criteria that I've clicked on. If you don't want that option turned on, then in your profile you can, as the center administrators, you can hide this results button. Your records, they're brought across automatically and update automatically as well. So again, you can go and filter and look at things without you having to go and publish anything or update things. It's just happening automatically in the background. So that's what the family area is all about. So that's some of the screens there. Here's some more screens of what we've just been looking at. So we can see the tickets, the graphs, all the season history on the right, and so on. The final piece of that puzzle is that we're looking to make the current hard copy achievement book soft copy printable down the track, so that we'll have a little profile of your own athletes and they can put their own pictures in and so on. And then all the tickets for the whole season will be grouped and all the rest of it. So that's the end goal, is to have a soft copy achievement book. This is still under discussion, but that's the direction that's trying to head down there. And the mobile family area, similar screens to what we just looked at on my PC, but when it's squashed down, it becomes the mobile view. It's still got your tickets and graphs and information, but that's how the kids get to interact. So if you had this down at the track and you're running live results upload, the moment Johnny's just finished 100 meter, you'd see that little brick for tonight and it'd have Johnny's results, and you could click on it to view the graph and see how his hundreds have progressed throughout the season. Okay, so any questions so far? So some people may be coming back to the system from the season that's just finished, or they're taking over from the prior person that was holding the key last year, and now this is your new baton to continue on the new season with. So we're just going to run through a few of the basic housekeeping things, which is also going to be helpful if you are new to the system on what to do next season, if you don't have to do some of these steps. So we're just going to go through the getting ready for the start of the season. So reminder, the help area. This is where we try to create information either via screenshots and content or video and screenshots and content to try and help you navigate your way through the different topics or information that you're trying to gain. So I'll just jump into the web area just so we can see exactly what it is that we're trying to achieve with this. So on any given page, there's a question mark. So when you click on that question mark, that will take you to the page that's relating to where it is you're trying to go. So I'm just going to log in, providing I use the correct password. So if I come into this screen down here, my results entry screen, I'm like, wow, what's this about? Okay, click on the green question mark. It will open up the help topic relating to how to enter my results. Looks like that image is broken there. I'll have to sort that out. So here it is, just trying to walk me through the steps and what I'm trying to do and so on, and some hints and tips. If it wasn't exactly what I was looking for, I could click on this support icon and I can put a topic in. So maybe it's to do with PB. It will bring up the top 5 topics to do with PBs. Meanwhile, there's another 39 topics. So I could click on PB points and it would go and tell me all about that. If none of this was what you needed, then you could just create a little support ticket, meaning an email to us effectively, but it gets logged in the system and allows you to see if it's still open or if it's pending, and all the history that you've created in tickets or questions and support with us without having to go and hunt through your emails. It will be in one little area for you to go and hang out and see where your items are at, what the status is. So that's the 2 main areas you've got to find information. Otherwise, just get to the support area itself. So just click on any of these. Once you're in here, you're on the home area, you've got all these topics here that you can go and look through for different things, or come up here and search for them. So when we say support area, that's what we're talking about. So we just had a quick look at what these screenshots are trying to show you, and that's how you get to them. Otherwise, that's the URL, so the web address to go to. So there we go again. So the season rollover. This is an important part of the start of the season for you, to make sure that your results and your members from the season that's finished get archived. Now, archive means archived, doesn't mean deleted, forgotten, thrown away. That's a common question. What happens to all my information? It's all there. As you can see on this screenshot, this season has just been archived from 2015-16 season, and now they've moved into the new season, meaning 16-17. This data is still available. I can export out all my results for all my members to Excel or CSV, which then means you can do up any sort of reports, or maybe someone's asked you, what was my PBs for the year? It's for some other event. You could go and export it and you could dig that information up. It also means in the family area, they'll have access to prior seasons' results as well. It's not deleted or forgotten. They'll be able to track their seasons in their family area as well as the current season that they're in. So the process is you've got to archive your results, update your season, suspend your members. Again, we're not deleting them. We're just suspending them in your profile. And once you've suspended them, the last step here is a really important one, is the users. So that's to make sure that whoever had access last season is supposed to regain access this current season coming up, or you need to hand the baton on to somebody else and make sure they have access and the correct level of access to do what they need to do to help your center out. Any questions so far?
Nick, the suspend all members, I guess, 2 questions. One is, by suspending them, you're not preventing them access to prior results. Second question is, we're suspending them in the sense that this has now been archived, but once we then go to the next season, with uploading a new set of members, you know, what happens if we suspended them? What happens if they're members again next year?
Yeah, good question. So by suspending them, the system still knows who they are. It has all their unique identifiers that IMG gave it the first time. So by suspending them as a part of this rollover process, and then we go into members and we click on that IMG import button and we press that for the first time in the season, and they happen to be in that first import, then they will get reinstated back in as an active member, and their history will continue within your center for the new season that's just began.
All right, but I guess then the consequence or the logical deduction of that then is the people who don't come back remain suspended.
Correct. Only if they're returning, they'll become activated. If they're not, they remain suspended.
Okay.
Okay, so the users. This is really important. You as a center. So traditionally, we used to give out to centers one access. So your center name and a password, and then you would hand that out to everyone that needed to log in. So you all use that one profile or username and password to log in, which has its benefits. It's nice and simple. Everyone knows the username and password. If someone forgets, you call up Johnny, and he hopefully remembers and tells you. However, it means that there's no transparency on what's happening, and if something happens in the center and you need to restrict access for particular reasons, then you can't do that. And it also means you don't have that visibility of who's doing what and when, in case you need to do some sort of audit to understand a particular situation that's arisen at your center. It also means as the years progress and people will move on, you can close down their access, but everyone else still keeps their existing username and password. So we ask when you do get set up, we'll invite you in if you haven't already been invited in to become a user. And if you've got the appropriate levels, you can go and invite other users in and set them up with the appropriate levels to suit whatever their role is within the center. So spend a little bit of time in there. Make sure you get everyone that's supposed to have access hooked up and that they're happy with their login details. And yeah, and you should be having a nice season with that all set up nicely. Any questions on users? Nope. Okay, now some of the basics on how to set up. How does this work? How do I actually set up a meet? How do I print my recording sheets? And how do I go and enter some data? The three main functions that you need to do each week is build out a program, print recording sheets, and enter that data back in. So that's what we'll go and have a look at now. So I'll jump into Webland instead of into pictures here. So the first step is we need to go and log in. So you should have been sent some login information, in which case you'll end up at a screen like this. And you'd put in your username and password. If you've forgotten, click on the forgot password, put in your username, and it will send you back an email with your username and password. I'm just going to log in. We're jumping into the demo center, which is a bit of a sand pit. So it doesn't have to be case sensitive on the first username, but the password is so demo and demo. That's how you log into the demo center. This is the sandpit. So if you ever want to just jump in and have a play around and check out some ideas without making a mess in your own profile, this is what this is for. Come in here and roll around in the hay and have a bit of fun. So when I log in here, if you haven't ever jumped into a profile, just a quick overview of what we see. This green banner here is telling us about the season rollover. If we've read it and we're happy with it, then we can easily just go and get rid of it. And now that won't come back until there's another notification that comes out to you. We've already had a chat about the support items here. Some other cool features on, because it's web-based, you may have heard the word drill down or click through. Anything that you can go over that looks like a hyperlink where you get your little hand, that means you can generally go down into there. So this is my graph. It's showing 6, under 7, under 8, and so on up to under 17. And tells me how many boys or girls are making up each of those age groups. If I wanted to see who these 17 males are that make up the under 15 male grouping, I can click on that and show me who they are. If I want to have a look at the results that they've achieved, click on their first name. Isaac's done nothing. If I want to have a look at their family information, I can click on their surname and it takes me through to Isaac's sibling, Thomas, and the information that's come across from IMG. If this family's forgotten their password, I can click on this button and it will go and shoot this family their login information. Another way to get to the family or a member is just type part of a name or part of a number. So I'm just going to write in Tim. And we've got Stimson, so that's where the Tim comes into it, and another one, and then there's a Timothy. Or I can go and type in part of a number, and there's an athlete 56, Ella. So again, I can click on the first name, the last name, or go in and actually update some of the information to do with Ella. So that's the members. Below that graph is where we've got all our dates. It shows our attendance throughout the year. So there's 708 members in this profile up here. And on any given week, our attendance will fluctuate based on weather and other activities and who's around. And this will show you what's been happening. So we can see there's 21 out of a 708 members turned up on the 31st. There was 20 PBs that were achieved. There was no center records and there haven't been any points calculated. I could click on this 20 and it shows me who got these PBs. I can click on their name and go and see what it was for. It's for the discus. I can click on discus and get a bit of a graph to see how Aiden's discus has progressed over the season. Just backing back out. Same goes for center records. See who they were and what they've done. Points, that's the same again. So if we're running points each week, then I'd want to see something other than 0 rolling up through here. That's a good little visual to know that you're actually doing what you think you're doing for the week. And then the dates over here, this is where you go and enter results. But we'll bypass that and we'll go to how do I get a date on the screen. Yours will be empty for the first time until you start building out your program. So normally this will all be empty. Hopefully you'll have some members in there because you've been up to your member. And I don't have IMG hooked up to this profile, hence there's no IMG import, but you'll have that extra button where you'll be able to click on that and it'll start populating in your members. So the first thing we're going to do is go and create a new date. So we can see here there's no date for tonight, so I might as well go and add one in. So I go to season calendar, hit my little plus button. This shows me everything else that we've put in already and where it's come from or what it's called. I'm just going to go hit the plus. I'm going to give it a name, webinar, program. I'll just make up a name. We'll call it Program A, and we'll use tonight's date. You've got options here on how to build out a calendar. If we've imported your results for you from the season gone, and this is your first time of setting up a program, the cool part is, assuming that you're actually recycling those same age, gender events that you had last season, is that you come into existing meets, browse to the dates from last season that we imported for you, find whichever one it is that you want to set up, preview it, make sure it is the one that you think it is, and it will show you whatever it was that was set up. If it is, I could make it a favorite so I can easily get to it again if I like. And then just go and copy date and that will bring across that program for me. If we don't have that option because we haven't imported anything and you're actually just starting very fresh, there's no history to work from, then, or even if you've brought in a date but you need to add some events or tweak them, then this is the process of adding events to a meet. So I can choose on one or both. So I've just chosen both. I can select whichever age or ages that I like, and I can select whichever event or events that I like, and then it will go through and build out my program for me. There are some advanced options down here, which for normal little A's environment, you don't even need to think about, hence we hide them. It's more if you're running a bigger carnival where you need other options to allow for more advanced features. So I'll just skip that. So once we've selected whatever it is we need to, then we can just go and add events. This will then go and create a little pigeonhole based on all the members that I have set up right now. It will go and build out these events for me. So if I go and have a look on my home page, I'm just going to open up 2 tabs. Just come up here to my home. Now on my home page, we've got the third being the one we just entered. And if I come in here, I've got my 6 and 7s doing the events that are on this screen here. So now that we've built out that layer, obviously normally there's a combination of age gender events that hopefully are like across multiples, which allows you to get through them quickly, but you may have a particular age group which is rather unique, so you have to do them by themselves. So you just layer up all your events. Once you've done this, the next time, if you're running, say, a 3-week rotation, so in 4 weeks' time, I need to copy this program that we've just built up. I wouldn't have to go and recreate this. I could just go copy existing, find this date 4 weeks ago, select it and bring it in. So it's hopefully a nice simple process to set up, and then an even easier process to work with moving forward. Any questions on how to build out your program? Okay, so once we've done the simple age gender event combinations, there's lots of features that I'm not talking about in here, just so I'm not overloading you. So that's the general process you need to do. The next step, if I go back to my home screen, all my athletes are in. I've just done an IMG sync, so I've got my latest members. I've got my program in there already. Now I'm ready to go and print out recording forms. All I need to do is, if it hasn't found the correct date for me, go and find the correct date. If I need to filter out particular events, then I can. We'll do singles. We'll just do all of them. And even when I've got this up, I can still select individuals. We'll just leave them as all. Age groups, leave them as all. Now, some people like to have groupings because of the older the kids get, the smaller the numbers, so to keep them kind of hanging out together, to keep them through, even though it's 14, 15, 16s and 17-year-olds in one group and you call them seniors or whatever you need to call them. You can create age groups and then they're available in here, which means you won't have an individual page for that combination of people that you've created. They'll be on one sheet together, just to keep it simple, because that's how that group's actually traveling around the oval for the night or the morning. Sorry, is that a question for me? If you need to add blank lines because it's the start of season and there's lots of new people turning up and you need to have some nice straight lines for somebody to write on, then you can add in blank rows. We've got options here for sheets. I'll show you what they are. So regular means 1A4 per age gender event, so 6 male shot put, versus if I went condensed, it would have all of the 6 males, their shot put, their long jump, their triple, their 100, and so on one page. So condensed means, like it sounds, it brings all their events onto one page for that one age gender, versus regular splits it out so that each age gender event has its own page. So I'll do one of each so we can just see what I'm actually talking about. And I've got options here on how I want to order the pages. I'll just leave it on normal. So I'm just going to hit preview. So here's 6 male shot put. There's no one in 6 males, but it's added in my blank rows. Here's my 6 female shot put. There's only one athlete, but it's added in my rows, and so on. all the way down. You notice here it's got the rules, so people have set up rules, and this is what it looks like. It brings across the records, and if there's any PBs for athletes, then the PBs would also print out automatically at that point in time that you printed off. If I want the condensed version, it would look a little different. So instead of regular, I choose condensed. Now I've got the athlete down the left with my blank rows, and I've got their events across the top. So that's how that one works. So now we've printed off our paper trail. The next task is deciphering what comes back in on the paper. Hopefully they've got some nice, neat handwriting, and they've done a good job at recording the correct results. Come back into the home page, click on the date. The default for this screen is that we have all events that have not had anything keyed against them. So they're basically waiting for me to key something against them. So I'm just going to do the 6 female shot put, and there's only one athlete, is what that's telling me. There's 0 of 1, meaning no results of potential 1 result. So I'm going to go in here. Sally Strawberry, that's an interesting name. Click on the blue button, enter edit results. Now it gives me the fields. So I'm just going to put in, what was this one, shot put. So I'll make it 02, I'll click on their first rate, 0245. And you'll notice as I do that, the status changed from DNS to OK. If I needed to make this a no throw or a no jump or a participate or something other than OK, OK is the default for this is a good result, I'm happy with this. DNS is the default, is no results in here. This was a non-event for this athlete. Then you've got the option there to change that around. If you needed to, this use average looks through the history of this athlete and will bring across their average into the results area. So let's say Sally was away or had a doctor's certificate, but we wanted to give her something for attending. Options are give her a participate and put in no results. Or if we wanted to give her a result value, that was her average, I could tick that if she had history, and it would put in her average result there. But I'm just going to make this the normal, put back in 0245. She's okay. I'll press save. Because there's no center record, it's flagged saying, hey, this could be your new record because it's beating 0. Do you want to accept this or not? If I go accept, we'll have a new record holder, which is Sally, at 245 for today. Then I just go back to the rest of the meets, and you'll notice now we don't have 6 female in the list. If I want to see all the events that I do have results against, I can click on the with results, and there's Sally. I click on without results, then Sally disappears. So that's the default. Any questions on results entry? No. Okay. Just a little. Sorry?
I was going to ask you a question, Nick.
Yeah.
You're entering results directly into ResultsHQ there. Obviously, it'd be amiss to assume that you're online. I guess the normal thing would be to enter these into CompetitionHQ. Would that be right?
Correct. So if we were in a location that had poor or no internet, this would be really painful doing what we're trying to do now because the pages either wouldn't load or they'll take a long time to load. In which case, you could use CompetitionHQ, which doesn't rely on internet, and we just tap everything in that's coming in. And then when we get somewhere where there is internet, we can go and upload all that data, in which case it saves us coming to this screen and re-entering what somebody else has entered already. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. I have a couple of other questions, but I'll probably save those until we get towards the end, I think.
Okay. So there's no other questions right now? Anybody else got any more questions? We've nearly gone through most of the items here, so it's just gone over an hour. I know everyone's time is precious and maybe you're a bit hungry or a bit tired. So we've gone through the basic functions of getting your members in, how to find members, how to set up a new date, how to then print recording sheets, and then how to enter results, whether we're using ResultsHQ and keying in directly here, or using those two other applications at the start of the night, one for timing software and the other for track and field results entry being CompetitionHQ. Once all that data's in, I guess the main parts from there is the families being able to have access and look at things, as well as then any points calculations and certificates and so on that you want to print out from that point on. So we're just going back to our slide pack. So we've gone through how to set up meets and recording forms. Anybody here running any timing gates, any timing hardware that we have available? If you are, then there's a few little checks there. You just make sure you've got the latest firmware, check the software, and obviously check your batteries. Nothing worse than starting the season on a set of dead batteries. And then obviously if you've got any questions, just hit us up with an email or a call. But all the timing, software, and hardware related topics are all sitting in this area here. If there's no questions around the simple bits and pieces, we can have a quick look now at some of the advanced features in here, which is awesome for your inter-center competitions. So what do we mean by inter-center? Who here has a gala event or a carnival outside of your normal zone or region or state events where multiple centers come together for a particular reason and they need to join up, have fun, get results recorded, and then everyone goes home? Does anybody host or be a part of any of those sort of events? No? Okay.
You can't see me shaking my head.
So if you ever are, or if you're ever interested in setting up one of these, then the cool part is if the other centers involved are also on ResultsHQ, then the whole nomination process is all done from profile to profile. So you'd say, hey, Nick, or hey, Timing Solutions, can you please set up a new profile for us? It's called Gala Day Extravaganza. We go, yep, sure, here you go. Here's your user ID, jump in. You then go through the normal steps of creating a program with your age, gender, events, and then you get the cool part of inviting your own center and whichever the other centers you want to be a part of it, and then they will nominate either from the center to yours, or you can let the athletes from within those invited centers nominate directly from their family area. The moment people nominate, they're now coming through to your profile. You have the final say of accepting them. And the moment you accept them, they are now going to be on the recording sheet in the results entry area or in the timing software for the relevant age, gender events that they're a part of. So it's a really quick and simple process to run a combined or integrated inter-center event. And in WA, they actually use this instead of meet manager and team manager. That is how they run their state and their region and their inter-center competitions. There is no team manager or meet manager over in WA. So that's the direction we're trying to get all the states to go to in the bigger picture. But obviously that will take time. But that's just some information about what that is. Is there any questions relating to that? Okay, the other cool part is if you do have some sort of inter-center event, then the thing called the Results Hub will give you, these are all your centers or all your clubs that are coming together, and you upload their logos. Then as you're running points throughout the event, because it's a PB extravaganza and you get 1 point per PB, for example, then you'd be able to see which centers are getting the most PBs and who's winning on the points tally for the day. You go and hunt through other results, and as results are getting keyed in or saved, they're appearing as a new little brick or tile on the left, and you can basically sit there and see live events getting uploaded and see who's winning and who isn't winning and so on as the events are going in live. So this is really handy if you happen to get into the school event market. Then you can actually run some really cool school events, make some money over winter to then help you get some other fun equipment for your summer season when it kicks in. Any questions on that area? All right, so as far as my slide pack's concerned, we've come to the end of the catch-up. So as you may already be aware, we're generally always around. We being Matt, Chris, Ryan, myself. We're based here in Australia. We're here to help you guys. We know you're all volunteers. We know that your time is important and special, and particularly late at night when you finally get time to do whatever your tasks are you're trying to do. If you've got any questions or you're stuck, then you've got the 1300 number, or email us, or go to that support area, or create a ticket. And we're here to make sure you try and transition from whatever it is you have been using across to ResultsHQ and its other little applications, or at least help improve your season compared to last season, and just keep everybody happy and keep progressing little athletics in your state. And obviously the subscription fees are covered by your state already. So there's no invoicing from us. It's basically use it, get the most out of it. The only time you'll see an invoice from us is if you happen to want to purchase any wireless timing hardware. But otherwise, it's all yours. All the software is yours, ready to use. It's just a matter of asking questions if you haven't already, and we'll help you get set up and make sure you get the best experience out of it. Any questions?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions.
Yeah, please shoot.
In terms of the the RaceHQ and the CompetitionHQ software, are they available to download perhaps, so that we can maybe get used to using them before the season starts?
Absolutely. So good way to do that, just come here and put in RaceHQ. Let's see what that brings up. Here's all the topics, so just jump into one of them. If I just come back, because I know where I'm going, so I'll make it a bit easier. If I just come back to the main screen here, the first thing we see up here is latest software, latest downloads. And from here, if I scroll down, it gives you a bit of a spec about ideally what you're using for your laptop. And here's my download button. Same goes for CompetitionHQ. If I come out of RaceHQ area and come across here to CompetitionHQ, and here's this one, download first time use and setup instructions. Click here to download. The cool part with the software is that if I just jump out of here, if I open up the timing software, once you've got the application, it will try and alert you if there's any new updates available. The version number down the bottom here, if I mouse over it, it tells me what versions are available, and also if I want to start to be included in the beta group. So that's how that operates, and same goes for CompetitionHQ. Does that help answer that question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just a couple of other questions, if I may.
Sure.
In terms of migrating previous season's records, and you said you could migrate previous season's programs too. Is there a pro forma or a template or some way of doing that?
Yeah, absolutely. So in the June newsletter that New South Little A's sent out, they've got a link to where that is. Otherwise, if you log into your profile, if you haven't already, there's some templates that you can download. But I'll just, so if you go to LA New South Wales, and they've got LA New South Wales /timing solutions. Here's the templates that they've put in one spot for you that they're offering up. Otherwise, if you're in the timing in ResultsHQ itself, then you can just go to the relevant areas. So in More, we go to Results Import. Here is Download the Template. And if we go to Reports, Center Records, that loads up. There's another button there to go and do the import and download a template there too. So there's a number of ways to get it. So if you need it, I'll shoot you the links and the templates. But this is where we go to get them, and this is where we'll go to in your profile and upload that relevant information.
Yeah, that's fine. I can find that okay. The other thing too is, and you sent me some details today about migrating our existing website to your templates.
Yep.
Is that, apart from the hosting charge, is there a charge for doing that migration?
No, so we set that up for you, so there's no additional charges for setup. That's just a part of the process. And then your annual fee, I forgot it was $540, something like that. It's $45 a month, yeah, $540. That covers off your annual subscription. And then as far as how to and what to do within there, here's the help topic here on ResultsHQ. That will help you understand how to get around. It's a WordPress backend if you're familiar with WordPress. And here's some of the topics relating to the relevant tasks that you're probably trying to achieve in there.
No, that's great. Thanks for that.
Any other questions out there? No. Well, if there's no more questions and everyone's feeling content, then that's possibly the end of tonight's little webinar. And we're obviously around, as mentioned. So if you've got any questions that you remember after we've hung up here, then shoot them through in an email or give us a call if you need to, and we can help you step through. But appreciate your time. And again, my name's Nick. Thanks for being a part of tonight's session, and hope to be hearing or seeing you online sometime soon. Thanks for your time, everyone.
Thank you, Nick. Yeah, thank you, Nick.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.